Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen,
Hi, I'm Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man.
and you are watching AFK, the AFK show, our favorite show on the planet.
One of.
One of. So you're watching the right show. Keep watching, and keep watching.
And keep watching. And keep watching. Don't stop.
What's this one that looks like a penis? No? Is this the one I gotta talk with? Or is this yours?
No, that one's yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Pertain. Nice to meet you. And then obviously, here we go. Ready for it? Okay.
Yeah, so you guys, my name's Marty. And my cohort's usually here, Lee Ehrenberg, but I think he came here in March. But usually we're a great tag team. Have you laughing and piss your pants. But anyway, obviously most of you guys know us from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Some kids, might know me from other stuff, iCarly or Drake and Josh or Pair of Kings, like younger kids. But been doing stunts and movies for about 20 years, and before that, I worked on Broadway for about 10 years. So I guess let the questions fly.
Yeah. So who has a question? Anyone?
What was the casting process for you like on Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh.
And how excited were you that the franchise blew up the way it did?
Oh yeah, that was good. The weird thing, I was working on two crappy movies, and one was actually Disney's. They thought it was going to be the cash cow, and that was Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. So I was already working on that, and I was working on Looney Tunes Back in Action. And so when the call, or one of my stunt guy buddies was like, hey Marty, they're doing this movie, they're doing a movie off the ride, the Pirates of the Caribbean, you should go down. So I went and met with the stunt coordinator. So originally I was just going to go on, maybe be a pirate in the background and do some stunts or whatever. And as we got going, we were shooting, and Zoe, there was one line that Zoe had where it was, Jack owes us a ship, and he owes me too. And the way she kept saying it was like, he owes me too, like also. So Gore was like, no, we gotta break it up. So they came to me and they're like, yeah, how do you feel about, saying the line? I'm like, yeah, break my arm over here. So, needless to say, that day there, almost $750,000 later, just from that one goddamn day. So, got to do the next two. We got shafted, obviously, for 4. We were supposed to be in it. I know they're going to start shooting 5 in February. So, I heard it was going to be in New Orleans and Puerto Rico. But I think you guys are going to, well, you're not New Orleans, but going to lose out. It's going to go to Australia. Maybe they give it a better deal for money-wise. So we don't know. I can't say if I'm on the next one or not. Even if I did know, I couldn't tell you because I'd have to shoot you. And as you can tell, I was pretty good with the gun. So, anybody?
Someone else? Anyone else?
Look at the smile on this girl. Jesus Christ. What are you so happy about?
I'm here. We're having fun.
Single?
Oh,
Are you married?
No.
Oh, you just put a smile on everybody else's face. Hey, he smiled, see? He's going to show you his Green Lantern later on.
Oh, okay.
What do you got on your head, a diaper? Oh, now I see it's ears. I'm like, why is this guy wearing a diaper on his head?
Adventure time.
I got a 2-year-old, so I'm like, why is he wearing a diaper on his head? I guess it's not a thing. What are you supposed to be? Is it one of those like anime Japanese things?
He's been the human from Adventure Time.
Oh, well, look at him. He's like, you should be proud. Why you're acting all shy and shit now. You came here dressed like that and you're being all shy.
Tell us about the stunts and stuff that you've done in the past.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. There's another pretty famous little person actor. Well, right now there's maybe a handful, but everybody knows Warwick Davis from Star Wars and this and that, and Peter Dinklage. Yeah, Peter's awesome. I was actually up for the Game of Thrones thing, but we were shooting, I forget the hell what I was shooting, so I didn't get to audition. But I do stunts for work as well, so if I'm not doing my own stunts or doing movies, I do like Leprechaun for work, and there's been a couple of times where, never want a stunt to go bad, but they can go bad. I was doing what's called an air ram, and that's where you like run and you see like say in Commando where you see the blow up and you see the guys go flying. Well, it's like almost like a trampoline, but it shoots you. You dial in like how much weight, and that kind of decides. They could literally throw me probably across the room all the way to the back, up in the air and down. But you dial it down. They didn't dial it down enough, and the guy didn't. He set it off before I was ready to go, so it shot me straight up in the air. About, I think they said like 30 feet, and then I came right down on top of my head. And the first instinct, I don't know if you've ever had a concussion before, or knocked yourself silly. First thing you want to do is get up and you're okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I was outside, and the building was spinning, and I knew I was in trouble. And I had a bandana on, and all of a sudden I feel this shit running down my face. It was busted open big. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning too. So I was very lucky there happened to be a plastic surgeon on call at the emergency room. So the huge scar that I have it's pretty much gone. Plus I tan all the time. So I'll get cancer instead of just big old scar. But yeah, they go bad. A lot of people know the scene where I get the gun goes off and I go flying back. We only did that twice. We did a trial run, and then we shot it because the chances of me hitting my mark perfect and being prepared at the right time, and that ratchet going off because it's a machine thing. If I didn't hit it perfect or the thing went wrong, pulling me back, it could have, took my head off because the floor is behind me. It has to be perfect to bring me straight down in the right place. So we did our practice, we shot it, got it in the can, and that was it. Because I need this head for a little bit anyway. So, what is that? Broadway. What? I got a question? I did 3 years in a national tour of The Wizard of Oz. But our first witch was Roseanne, and so I played one of the main munchkins, the mayor, and then I went to the corner, and then but I was also Nico, which is to me the best one. That's the flying monkey. So I got to make Roseanne. There's actually articles in the paper when we came out, like, Roseanne but Martin Klebba steals the scene, So we did a 3-year tour, which was cool, I was never. I'm not gonna say I was never homophobic, because I have a couple cousins that are that go that way. But you learn a lot living in New York City or being able to participate in things like that, and all your barriers just come down because you just realize, you know what, that girl or that guy, they're no different than anybody else. What they do, when they go home, hey, it's nobody's business. And so I'm now Mr. I don't march in the parades or anything, but I learned a lot. I'm very, very fortunate to have been on, to be able to do that. Radio City for 10 years. I just did the math a couple weeks ago because when I was there, I got to do every single show the whole season, and it only ran for 10 weeks. And we were up to doing 33 shows a week. Now, put it this way, Broadway only does 8 shows a week. And so it's like 2 on a Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and then like 1, I think, something like that. So we were doing it every single day, sometimes 6 and 7 shows a day. So the money we were making, because the turnaround and the overtime and all this. But anyway, Radio City is the biggest theater, and it holds, can you open this? I gotta take these drugs. It holds up to 6,000 people, and it was always a sold out house. So I did the math, and I think I pretty much performed in front of like 1.7 million people in like the 10 years I was there, if you break it down. And that's pretty cool because, I've seen one show before we started. Radio City's known for, they have different elevators that the stage goes up and down. And that was, they were the first to come out with that. And that was actually, during World War II, they had Secret Service agents guarding downstairs because they didn't want, the enemy, like the Japanese or anybody to know how they were doing that, for battleships and all that other shit. So they had to protect it, but also in front it's a half a circle one. That's usually what the band would come up in front. Well, when you have the doors open at the back of the house, it tends to blow the curtain off stage. And right before we, start, a lot of the crew guys would back the, curtain up, and the union boss, was just there visiting that day, was helping, and he didn't think about it, and he stepped too far, went 3 floors down, and I happened to be downstairs preset for when we were gonna come up. So I, unfortunately, saw this guy come down, hit a band chair, a band thing, to put the music on in the chair, and ended up being a quadriplegic for, the rest of his life. We had shows we used to call blue shows, which pretty much means that they're shipping in all the senior citizens, got silver or blue hair, and they would die during the show. Show goes on, you just see like an ambulance and a stretcher coming down, load them up. That show still goes on and take them out. So you see some weird things.
Real?
Yeah.
Really let that, like, no
I'm
one
sure,
stop?
we don't stop the show. The show goes. Even when that guy fell off the band, the show postponed for 20 minutes. But it's also because they had to get him up and out and reset the chairs and the band thing. And that's, when it comes down to dollars, dude, that's, they don't care.
So Broadway is incredibly hardcore, is that what you're
They can
saying?
be
So
hardcore,
very
yeah.
intense.
Yeah, and you gotta back up, there's always somebody waiting right there to take your place. It's not like if you're Johnny Depp, like, okay, well, we'll just get, somebody else come in and do Jack Sparrow. On Broadway, they'll have somebody come in and do Jack Sparrow. No, they don't have no problem, because it's about the character, it isn't about the actor. So, there's good in both, but everybody, obviously, if you're an actor or in the music business, if you say, there's nothing worse than an actor or somebody who's like, oh, I want my privacy, I want to be left alone. It's like you knew when you were probably in elementary school when you were a little clown, trying to be the class clown, you were looking for attention. So now that you've got it, your fans are the people who pay you. So you have to give back. If they say, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Or, if you're in the airport, you should take time and do that. Or come to these things and meet your fans and whatnot. I don't really know where I'm going with this anymore. But I'm not high yet, that's why. But
So do you get recognized a lot out in public everywhere?
in LA it's funny because in LA everywhere it's nothing to see. It's like seeing the postman. There's movie stars everywhere you go. But I just moved back to just outside Detroit where I grew up with my wife, and we had a baby. And it's cool because the city I'm from, Troy, it's like if you look up the city of Troy on like Wikipedia or whatever, and there'll be facts, and it's like, oh, and Star from Pirates of the Caribbean, grew up, went to school there, and to be the kid who used to drive around and cause all kinds of hell with his buddies, when you were young, in the city knowing you, and the cops knowing you, to, oh, he's an actor, going into a coffee shop for your coffee, and you don't ask for anything, it's just, oh, what's it like to be, same old question. What's it like to work with Johnny Depp? And I'm like, if I could smack somebody for every time they say that. I'm like, do people go up to Johnny and say, dude, what's it like to work with Martin Klebba?
All the time.
I know. I understand why they would say. I mean, he is an incredibly amazing guy, and obviously you're always going to want to know him or Orlando, but I think people forget that like Jeffrey Rush is probably, to me, more accomplished as an actor than, or Kevin McNally. Those are actors. I mean, Johnny's incredible, but to me, he's an incredible character actor. Because if you really think of the films where he was just a straight up dude, those weren't his blockbuster films. Like where he was the gangster. You don't really think of Public Enemies before you think of Edward Scissorhands or Pirates or, what all the cool, creepy shit he could pull out. But he wasn't even their first choice. Actually, their first choice was the guy from Iron Man. What the hell's his name? Yeah, that was their first choice. And he turned it down. Interesting enough, he wasn't the Iron Man. Downey Jr. wasn't their first choice. They originally asked Tom Cruise, and Tom passed on that. I think they're both kicking themselves in the butt for things they passed on, but kind of interesting to see, who could have been what, and stuff like that. I love the actors from today, but to me, the actors that I look up to and the ones that I watch are like Jimmy Cagney and Jimmy Stewart, the gangsters. They were, Humphrey Bogart. They knew how to act. And today, you just give somebody billions of dollars and you go out there and do your thing, but, every single time those guys were performing, they could dance. I don't know if Johnny could dance like, Jimmy Cagney, who's not known as a dancer. But to me, he's probably right there with Bob Hope or, the other two really dancer guys. Gene Kelly or whatever. But, back then, those guys did everything. Mickey Rooney. Shit, when I did The Wizard of Oz, our wizard was Mickey Rooney. And that guy's, he's, God bless him, he's gone now, but he's not all there. Seriously, like, to love him when he was a kid and watch him grow up, and to see him, as a crotchety old man, but like, all of a sudden he has to take a pee, and you don't have time to go back to the green or whatever. He would just go over where the stagehands are with the ropes who bring the curtains up and down and hanging out, let it go on the side of the stage, not thinking that, people from stage left, in the audience or stage right could see, what's that old man doing over, you could see that. Or there'd be what we call upstage crossing. he would, instead of going around the back like you're supposed to, he'd be late. So him and, the poor guy who's, lifting his cape in the back, while we're acting right through the back of the scene, and the audience is watching, Mickey trying to get across the other side of the stage, and this poor, wardrobe guy, holy, what the hell am I doing? So, I've gotten to work with, I say, the best. And hopefully you guys hopefully they'll bring us back, and me and Lee will be here together, because right now you guys would be pissing your pants. We work really well off each other, and we're like a dumb dumber thing. So, but anything else? Oh no, this guy. Yeah, what do you want?
We talked about this yesterday, but what actor or actress would you really want to work with?
Oh man.
Good question.
Because I would love to smell Jennifer Aniston. Jesus. Oh, or Sandra Bullock. Jesus. Oh. Actually, my two new hotties are Megyn Kelly and Dana Perino on Fox News. Oh, Jesus Christ, those girls are hot. But, Judy Garland would have been cool back in the day as a kid. Shirley Temple, when she was little, to be able to work with somebody amazing like that. I don't know, I've walked with all kinds of different lives. I've hung out with Gene and Paul from KISS. I've been at, parties where a movie that I did was an opening party, and that was when the Dave Chappelle show was coming out, and my show was coming out. And here I am in a movie room that's separate from this guy, some famous producer guy, Robert something or other. But here I am with Slash, back and forth. I'm like, is this real? I'm with Slash right now, passing, one of those candy cigarette things, back and forth. Yeah, but it's just weird, like the people, and they treat you like you're just like, everybody else. Like you're one of them. And there shouldn't be you're one of them, because, I always tell people, if you really think and get deep, what makes one goddamn caveman any better than the other? Why is somebody's signature worth more than the other? Like, fucking, I gotta pay bills, and those guys are getting my autograph, and I'm paying them to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is my chicken scratch worth anything more than yours? You know what I'm saying? Or why do we idolize sports heroes? Or, we just luckily have got to get away with, doing shit that you love instead of having to go punch the clock or, truthfully, I wanted to be a cop, or a construction worker. My dad was a construction worker, and I always, I loved the smell of being at a construction site, but my dad wouldn't let me do it. I wanted to be a cop, but by the time I was 18, that wasn't going to happen. So, but I think everybody has their own ideas what they want to be as a grown up. I don't know what that Indian person, what's that, is she dressed up as? What the hell are you supposed to be? Oh, from like what? From like, okay. There's a picture of me from like Road Warriors kind of shit, right? Yeah. I'd love to do Mel Gibson would be cool to work with. That guy's so talented. Look at, The Patriot, or what's the other one where he's Wallace? What's his name? Dude, I don't care what part of the movie is. If I flipped up, it could be during the Super Bowl. I wound up staying watching that. I know every line. Those two movies and the two Godfathers, I could watch those anywhere, anytime, and those are classics. So.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about Zombieland?
Zombieland. Well, a lot of your stuff ends up on the cutting room floor, and that's true. I think the only thing that really, even though I was down in Valdosta, Georgia, for like 6 weeks, in the sweat pit, smoke infested, Mosquito Land. Only one scene of mine ended up in the movie, and I was doing stunts as a little girl getting dragged by a van at a birthday party, holding onto the bumper. But there was a scene where, the main scene where where they're, all coming down on him from all over, and he's stuck in this little box. And I was supposed to drop from the ceiling down. And as I'm coming down, before I even reach the ground, he blows me away. So it's like I'm coming down, boom! And then I get ratcheted up against the wall. But they ended up using one of the other takes that I wasn't in. But just, it's one of those things that, hey, I just want to cash a check. So it was a fun movie to do though.
Anyone? Oh, there you go.
Ooh, if I was a zombie, like killed? Oh man. I don't know, I'd probably pull out my big hammer and knock him upside the head, depending on how bad they looked or how good they looked. I don't know. I'm a gun guy. Like, if you really watch Pirates, they're all really good at the swords and shit, but I'm really the gun guy. I'm, always a blunderbuss. I don't think I picked up the sword once in any three of the Pirates. And trust me, we had 8 weeks of gun and sword training before we even started shooting, because you had to know how to handle these things. And even after, by the time we got to P3, and I knew my lesson that you got to be careful because the flint things on the thing that you cock back in the guns, sharp as shit. So when there was a scene where we're in the maelstrom, and I've gotten rose up in a bucket with a bunch of guns, and then I'm firing the gun, and I grab another one. I went to pull the hammer back, and sliced my thumb wide open, and I had to. You can't stop. We weren't really on an ocean. We're in a huge, old military hangar that they had 3 different fighting scenes going on with different ships on gimbals, with my drugs, with cold ass rain, which was really just a sprinkler system that was recirculating this water, and 50-mile-an-hour fans blowing at you. You're supposed to act like you're really in the middle of a storm. So I hope you guys think we were really in the middle of a storm, because it's cold, and it's one of those things you're like, oh, not again. Why am I here? Oh yeah, the paycheck. But
Love a film.
I did, though, this film, dude, I'm hoping that someday, 40 years from now, somebody's gonna appreciate those like I appreciate, The Godfather or some of the stuff from back in the day. My favorite movie of all time is either, Godfather 1 and 2. Anybody who says that it's not, go jump off a bridge. But I like It's a Wonderful Life. Jesus, man, if you want to cry, I always, especially when you're depressed, that's the first thing you do is watch that, and then you get in a good mood afterwards. You're like, you know what? Life's not so bad. But anything with Jimmy Cagney too, I get all excited and whew, I get the chills. So, anybody else? What did we?
I have lots of questions.
That's good.
For you.
I don't know. Wait, I'm going to talk to some earlier.
Last time I was here, Gibbs,
Mr. McNally.
was up there and he said that you were chased by an army of kids yelling, "Mini-me!"
Yeah, they thought I was Mini-Me. Fucking Kevin fucking tells that story every time. That was P1, and that was really before I, to me, like Kevin and Johnny and Orlando and Jeffrey Rush, that's a higher echelon of actors. It was like, you got to kind of work your way in and, get accepted. Like, you don't just throw yourself in the mix and be like, yeah, I'm one of you, because you're not. You don't study like they did. I took 6 weeks with Marlon Brando, and in my class was Michael Jackson, Sean Penn, Whoopi Goldberg, I forget the Spanish guy's name. I forget what his name is anyway, but all these huge actors who are already way established, but they were there for 6 weeks, for Marlon Brando. So, but anyway, guys like Jeffrey Rush, they studied British theater and, to be in that, even hang out with those kind of guys, you got to work your way up. Anyway, we were doing a scene. Oh, I know what it was. It's the very first scene you meet the ragtag crew from Tortuga. So we were supposed to be on that pier, and Johnny and Orlando were like, "This is your crew," and they looked down at me and Mr. Cotton, first time I met him. But we were on the beach, and we were on an island called St. Vincent, and we were on the volcano side at that point. They have a real volcano that is smoking. I'll get to that in a minute, but all these kids, they don't obviously see many films, but short and bald. I was that before he was. I can tell you that because I lost my hair like 91, long before Minute Me came out. And, but sure as shit, there was about 250 kids chasing me down the street, or down the beach, and I was running for my life, and they were all going, Marty, or after a while they were going, Marty, Boombaye, which is like Ali, when they were all rooting for Ali to go and, beat up on George Foreman, which didn't happen. But, so it was kind of cool, all these kids, you're like, Marty, Boombaye, and they don't speak English, so it's kind of cool, They loved it. They weren't out to, do anything, but when they surrounded me, that was kind of intimidating. Like, all these kids are taller than you. You're like, oh, what are they gonna do? String me up and, But it was cool. We had one of the local guys. We actually climbed through the jungles. Never saw a bug, not one bug. But we climbed all through the jungles, all the way to the top, where we're as high as the clouds, and it was cold, and we're at the top of the volcano, walking along the edge, and literally the wind was so strong that if they weren't careful, it could have blew you over. Then we got the stupid idea, which the islanders do already. They already have a rope that goes from the top all the way down. So we, monkeyed our ways down, walked inside the volcano, and there's a spot about the size of all those white chairs maybe over there that's steaming white, rock or charcoal, whatever you want to call it. I don't know when it's going to blow, but we were just hoping it didn't blow that day. But the scary thing is getting out of there, trying to climb back up, with just knots here and there. If your hands are cold and holding onto a rope, trying to climb up out of a volcano is not something you want to do. But,
All right.
anything else? You?
I do have a question. Do you have any roles coming up?
Let's see. There's a movie called Left Behind. It's actually a reboot, but it stars not John Cusack, I did one with John Cusack earlier. Nick Cage is the main character. So he's the pilot of the plane, and, Chad Michael Murray's in it. So I'm the disgruntled, mouthy little guy on the plane. That was fun. We did that in New Orleans. And hopefully it goes over good because they'll probably shoot 2 more of the book series. But that's coming out. I just got done doing Jurassic World. I don't know if they're done with it yet, but that stars the guy from Galaxy thingy. What's the Chris? Is it Chris Pratt?
Brett?
Yeah.
Pratt, yeah.
So I'm not an actor, and then I was a stunt performer. So any of the dinosaurs that you see that are attacking him are me in green screen, in a green suit, and then they go in digitally and they'll put the wings and the dinosaur head on. So it's me on top of him or whatever. I love doing stunts. So what else will I do before that? Oh, I'm going to do Ted 2. No, I was just in a green, pajama suit. It's not exactly you want something you want to run around in. People can see your package or whatever. So you always stuff a couple socks down there. Make it look like you're proud. But what else was I saying? TED 2. Shit. Man, I'm out there. Oh, there's something coming up in next year, but I can't say what that is right now. So
We're excited for it.
yeah, be excited. In fact, I know Lee's gonna be excited. Lee needs it. So I need it. What am I talking about? I got a baby, so I gotta take care of that too. But we'll hope I think that particular company heard it from the fans when they didn't bring us in a certain particular movie last time. So they're gonna listen to the fans, I think, and bring us back. So that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. I'm gonna have to stop and take in the air next time because I didn't do that before. I didn't, you just kind of ran with it. You don't realize this shit ain't gonna last forever. So next time I'm gonna appreciate the food or the local marijuana, and, all the things that the locals do. I'm Mr. Even tonight, I'll go back to the hotel room and I'm recluse. I stay in my room. I'd rather watch First 48 than be down at the bar or partying or anything like that.
So what else do you do in your free time?
Man, I'm Mr. Dad right now. My wife is super hot, young, tall, and she's a school teacher. So even though I could afford to not ever work, she didn't go to school all those years to, not do her thing. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's like, look, you can't just live off of what I do. It's better that you do your job and we can live comfortably, and then everything that I do is gonna afford you all the fat things in life. So I'm Mr. Dad. We have a 2-year-old. My daughter turns 2 next week. I named her after. I didn't name her after Lee because too many girls are Lee, this, that. But I named her after Mackenzie, and that's the guy with the wooden eye. So I'm best friends with Lee, who's Pintel, and Rigetti is the guy with the, So I named her Mackenzie anyway. So I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Dad. I love it. I love changing diapers. I'm not changing his diaper on his head, but I have no problem changing his. But I wouldn't change somebody else's baby's diapers. Your own baby's one thing, but somebody else's kid's poopy diapers, no deal. I only want to babysit another kid other than my own, because somebody else's kid, I'm gonna be like, shut up,
All right. Well, does someone else have a question at all? So, what has been your favorite place to go and shoot so far?
Favorite place to film? I hate to say Pirates. Anything I did with Pirates, but we've taken a lot of business away from New Orleans in Michigan, because now we have like the big state-of-the-art studios and shit up there. So we just got done. Well, it already came up, but we did Oz, the Great and Powerful, and we're doing Superman, Batman right now. After that is what's coming in after Superman, Batman. Another one of the huge blockbuster ones. They're just waiting. So they're waiting to get into those little studios. So to be able to be home and be like, bring your friends to set, like, oh yeah, they're just coming to meet, whatever. Just be quiet, don't say anything, Let them see what goes on a set, instead of having to explain, like, what do you do at work? Oh, I'm an engineer. Well, I don't really want to go to work with you. Now, I'd like to go to work with those guys back there, but I would be shooting somebody. So, I want to go on a ride-along, if I can bring my guns. That way you guys don't have to check your bullets. You don't have to worry. It's not your bullets. It's mine. I can never shoot an animal, just so you guys know. But shoot a person, oh, I'm looking for the day, dude. I'm waiting for Armageddon to come. I am so waiting. ISIS, come to Detroit and see if you make it out.
All right.
So,
Well.
on a bad note, I just left that,
Oh,
right?
well,
Since you were on Broadway, I'm kind of wondering, did you ever sing anything, or was it just like you said you were a monkey?
No, I did. We're all pretty, like my friend Vern, who ended up doing Mini Me. He's not a classically trained actor by any means. He wasn't even an actor. He grew up a Mennonite Amish. So actually, he was so Amish that, and he's from Detroit. Fuck, your flies out here are starting to piss me off.
we'll clean it up.
But he grew up in Detroit, born on New Year's Day, so he's really basically a New Year's baby. But no TV, no nothing. That guy grew up, and he just happened to be at a Little People convention in LA, and he was walking across the street. And Jesus, what do you guys fucking pay these things? Man. Between this and the alligators in New Orleans, jeez. But yeah, he happened to be crossing the street, and one of the greatest makeup artists, Rick Baker, saw him and walked up to him and said, "Hey, have you ever, done any acting or anything?" And Ben was like, "No." And that's when he said, "Hey, I need somebody to double a baby." So his first thing was Baby's Day Out. And, look, now he was getting paid fat to do anything that, what's his name? Well, I don't know if he's still making any more money, but a lot of it's gone, You saw him in that show where he was trying to kick a habit. It didn't go so well, but, what was I saying? Jesus Christ, is he with drugs, Jimmy?
She was asking about Broadway.
Oh yeah, Broadway. Oh yeah, so I'm classically trained.
There you go.
Yeah, no, we sang on the album, like we all went into the studio, and there was the Munchkins, and there was the whole ensemble, and your own parts. So yes, I can sing. Right now, not so much because I haven't ate or drank anything really all day, so I'm not going to bust out into my best Dio impressions or anything like that. But yeah. You gotta be trained in everything nowadays. So.
Well, if no one else has any more questions, we are actually
He's next.
out of time now. Yeah.
I feel sorry for you, dude. It's the hardest thing to do. Trust me. This is the hardest thing to do. Is to come up and do one of these. So I wish you luck, dude.
Well, it's been good.
It's a hard crowd.
Nope.
It's crickets. No, I'm kidding. You guys did a great. You did good. Give yourselves a hand. So next time, hopefully, the promoters will bring like Kevin, Lee, and I, all together at the same time. Because when we all start bagging on each other and the other stories that come out, yeah, if you don't laugh, there's something wrong with you. Because the stories we really have on each other are pretty out there, and we shouldn't be talking about, but we bag on each other pretty bad. We let everything out. So
Great.
I hope to see you guys in March, or on the big screen. TED 2. Oh, that's where I'm going. I'm going to do TED 2. So I'll be the. It's a creature that looks. He was in Star Wars. Fucking Jedi looking. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll be the Yoda guy at a Comic-Con. The guy gets in a fight. I get in a fight with, I think, some wizard dude. So I don't know. I haven't read the script. I just know. Hey, would you do it? And I'm like, fuck yeah, sure. I love doing makeup stuff. So, anyways, salute. And I'll talk to you guys. Be good. Be easy on this guy. I gotta go find out the score of my Michigan team. So, later, guys. Anybody know the score?